Welcome in everyone, John here. I'm the lead maintainer of the open source Latterly.io, which is a career platform for software engineers. Today we will be building a job search tool. In blog article number 9, there is already a job search tracker template that you can use. And this will allow you to calculate all kinds of interesting data points. You can see some of the data points on display in Article 15, cover letters and tailoring. And this allows us to understand the impact of certain effects. So we can see the impact of using different resume versions. The coefficient is close to 0 and it's not statistically different from 0. On the other hand, referrals and inbound opportunities are super powerful. Low effort applications, just hitting the easy button, is negatively correlated. So these are some of the data points that we can see in our own job search. Some of this stuff varies by individual. Other of it is pretty common across candidates. So this was a sample of my data from 2024, but the template allows you to personalize this to you, and you can A/B test your outbound messaging scripts, different techniques, different ways of networking with people. You can capture those data points and then do data analysis to see what's working for you. This would be cool if you didn't have to have a spreadsheet. This would be cool if you could just use a tool that was built into the website, and it could make the process easier, make the analysis easier. For example, currently, if you want to determine effects, you need to get this data locally and then do Python scripting and stuff. What if the website could just print a report? That would be way better, right? So that's what we're going to try to do today. Before we get started, I think there was one more column I was wanting to add. Let me see if I can find it. No, I think I'm not going to be able to find it very quickly. So I think it was to do with the difference between inbound and outbound opportunities. Do I have a marker for that already? So I have a marker for inbound versus outbound opportunities. And the approach here is that a row is a job post. So I think the idea that I had was to have the row level be a conversation, because I had a person who was sending outbound communication not associated to a particular job post. And that was an interesting edge case that the spreadsheet doesn't capture today. So if you just reach out to your buddy and you're like, hey, are y'all hiring? That just doesn't go in the spreadsheet. I think we'll leave it as is for now, and we can always refactor it if needed. So let's stick with this. I will download it as a CSV, and then the approach is we're going to take this over to Cursor and have it integrate the spreadsheet into our data model, build a UI, and then provide that to premium subscribers. You can sign up to premium for $6 a month. It has cool AI tools, access to premium evidence-based articles like this one. So there's a bunch of free articles, but then there's a few with the lock icon that are premium. And then there's 2 different chat tools. There's the chat you just saw, and then there's a different Copilot tool. What's the difference between them? You can see this article to understand the difference between Latterly Chat and Latterly Copilot. And we keep adding more tools. So this will be an example of a new tool, which is a job search tracker. And I want to be able to calculate, the interview kind. The interview kind is something that's missing here. Okay, that was the critical thing. So when I'm diagnosing pain points that different people are having, the spreadsheet looks at it from a funnel perspective. Are you landing interviews, passing interviews, getting to the offer? there's another dimension, which is if you're failing interviews, it will be really valuable if we can determine if you're failing a certain kind of interview. So maybe you're crushing behavioral, you're crushing tech screens, falling down on lead code, or maybe you're crushing all those, falling down on system design. Being able to get data around that would be a major value add to the existing spreadsheet. Okay, I'm so glad I remembered that. And then we can tag as multi-round script. No, we don't want to tag as, yeah. If a step, so your first round and then your second round, and then you have a final loop. Well, you're going to hear from the employer that you passed or failed the final loop, but very often what happens is if you fail, they don't give you the breakdown. If it's a multi-round step, if you do, in your final loop, you do 2 coding rounds, a system design, and a behavioral, you just get the pass-fail information. You don't actually get from the employer the performance by round type. Now the candidate can reflect, and we want to support that, but that will be the multi-round idea here. So we want like a notes column. So basically there's a second entity. We want to capture this, but then we also want to vibe code this interview round entity. Interview round entity. Great. So let's dive in. So I have 462 here. Bring up cursor, get checkout-b. Interview. So there are the job posts, and these are going to go into an aggregate. Well, I guess that was the whole name of the thing. It's a job search entity. So this will be called job search entity. All right, get fetch origin main. So now we are even with main, and we have this branch that we're starting. I have the spreadsheet here. So we want 3 entities: job search, interview, like job post, like your interview process for a job post. The website currently doesn't support employers providing job posts, but I might want to name this in a future-proof way so that later we can distinguish between the job post for the candidate and the job post from employer. So I'll say job post for candidate. Job search, job post for candidate, and then interview round. We want this to be interview step. I think that makes sense. First step. There's just a bit of like language ambiguity here because we want the application to interview ratio. So this is your first interview in your process at a company. This is kind of the way we talk. You go first round, see we call it the first round because it's usually only the final loop that's composed of multiple rounds, but that's not always the case. That's just usually the case. Let me check on the chat. No questions in the chat so far. Good deal. I'll call it an interview step. And so then an interview step could refer to that first round interview, like the recruiter screen. It could be a coding, whatever. And then the final loop is one step, but a step can have multiple rounds. And then non-goals. we won't track social networking conversations at the moment. That would be a more in-depth architecture, similar to like a sales, similar to a CRM, which is too much for this user story. Okay, so hopefully that clarifies the goals and the non-goals here. Cool. So here I'll npm run dev, get the UI going. Where do we want to put this thing? Oh, npm run dev. So where do we want to put this thing? This will be a grow. I would like a grow button. So here we have perks, chat, blog, community, account. I would like blog to become grow. And so under the grow dropdown, we have a community dropdown that has this stuff. We're gonna have a grow dropdown, and it will have ways to upskill and ways to career search. Is all gonna go in there. So that will be the top nav component. So there should be a blog element in here, menu context, menu provider, might be in the menu provider. Top nav right, yeah, it's the top nav right component. We still have some commented code from top honors. Yeah, nobody's missing it. So we'll get rid of this top honors commented code. That's a legacy feature that I ripped out because nobody was using it. It was just kind of a distraction. So here we have the blog, and I want this to be a drop down. And it will say grow. So this is going to have its own menu name, which is the grow menu. We'll handle grow click. Now the blog is gone. Handle community click, ABC. We'll do alphabetical here, although this is not alphabetical, is it? Okay, cursor's getting the vibe. If the menu called grow is already open, we will collapse it. Otherwise, we will set the grow menu. Dig it. Let me just paste this here so that I don't lose it. I'm going to reorder these because I do like the alphabetical thing. So there's the account dropdown, the community dropdown. And now the grow dropdown. So we have community menu items. Okay, account menu items, community menu items, and now we have grow menu items. It's going to have a wrapper and links, right? That's all that's there. Okay, that should flow through. Let me also move this menu items wrapper. Can we put it in this? Can we put it in this file? I think so. Let's see. This might scream at us if it's expecting to be client side. But this is just a div with children, so I'm not seeing the client-side requirement here. Okay, So account, community, grow. So let's see what that looks like. Here I'm still seeing blog when I expected to see grow. Because I went to prod. Oops. Now we have grow. The expand and collapse errors. What's going on here? Grow menu items is not defined. Did I call it the wrong thing? Oh, I think I imported it incorrectly, right? Yeah, I didn't import it. That's on me. Okay. So here we go. Here we grow. Here we grow. Let's grow. Somebody catch a clip. That was great. So here's the blog. So you have community, and then we just have the blog for now. Right? And it's looking good. And it's not going to be on the mobile menu, so that's a bummer. Mobile menu. Right. Okay. So this is a good step one. Let's commit where we're at. And the feature here is grow dropdown. I can easily add the Copilot, by the way. Read the announcement or chat now. So here's the Copilot. We have the blog, we have the Copilot. Okay, so you can go over to the Copilot. Good, we'll do that for now. It's going to be really obvious and easy to fix if I fumble on mobile. Mobile is, I believe, its own page. Here's the mobile menu content. Guest menu items. About perks blog. And then here is a drop down. Okay? So this is the community drop down. Yeah. So this is how the drop down is done on mobile. Looks kind of clunky, not gonna lie, huh? I'd like to extract this block as a... Is it the only dropdown on mobile right now? Yeah, I guess it's the only dropdown, so there was no point in extracting it previously. Well, there's a count. What does a count do? It also had, yeah, here's account. Oh, it's under authenticated menu items. Because I'm logged in right now. Yep, I'm logged in right now. Okay, so that's why it was not previously extracted. Let's extract it. I think it'll be cleaner to extract it. Okay? So we have the mobile menu, and we have mobile menu content, and this will be mobile menu dropdowns. .tsx. Drop. How do you spell dropdown? Yeah, it's all one word, right? Dropdown. Mobile menu dropdowns.tsx. Okay? So the clickable is the button, but the list item contains the button and the submenu. So this is the account, mobile account dropdown right here. Mobile account dropdown. Okay? And then here we want to export const mobile account dropdown. Oh, this could have been the reason not to do it. So when I export a constant that's a Tailwind constant, I don't know that the Tailwind compilation properly triggers. We'll see how this goes. I think I might have done this and then rolled it back and just said, let's put it here to be pragmatic kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to toggle that it's open. Now we have the chevron, we have the session, submenu classes, we want that as well. Well, the good news is we'll quickly know if this doesn't work and then we can just roll it back if we need to. Oh, well here I'm importing them, so in theory that should work if it worked over here, right? So how about this mobile account dropdown? How does it look? Is it working? Let's go see. Nope, it's not toggling. And why is it not toggling? Let's do it this way. The click handler is not properly binding. Oh, I had that set to false. Maybe I don't want it inside of a function. Yeah, we do want it inside of a function. Maybe I should call the function as a side effect. Nope. Okay, so toggle account submenu is not being used. So when the button is clicked, excuse me. Yeah, we need to bind that on click there. Okay, so now it's working. Let me, oops, click the wrong. Click the wrong piece of software there. Is it just me or does that account text pop a little more? I think it's using a different font color. Okay, so here, I want to make sure that this function is, yeah, maybe I can just do that. Still looks good. Let's look at the perks. Perks, here's mobile link classes, and I want account to be using those mobile link classes. I don't know what's up with this bit. Let me check version control. Was I using that? It looks like I was. Was it a different color the whole time? Let me make sure I'm not tripping here. text gray 700. Text gray 700. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it is the same color, huh? Text gray 700. Let's try to do this. Yeah, this is just impacting the border anyway. We get a slight shadowy effect when it expands, but the the text color doesn't change. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we've extracted the, I think this is a win. We've extracted the mobile account dropdown. This looks a lot cleaner now. This other file is like kind of messy, but that's just the nature of the component, right? But now we'll have a template so that components like these can be easily extended as we need to. So the feature here is mobile account dropdown. And now we want to make a community mobile community dropdown. Great. Cursor is understanding. Now there were 3 here. There was also the session because this bit cared about authentication, but this bit doesn't care about authentication. So that works. Now let's come back over here. Okay, it picked up the right thing to do. Now I don't need this import anymore. Don't need this import anymore. Good. Cool. So now this is the mobile community dropdown. And now I want to add my new one. Okay, so it starts to understand the kind of template here. A button on click. Toggle grow submenu. Yep. It's doing all of the right things. Why is this mad? Button has no corresponding close tag. Okay. Cool. Here's the grow menu items, and we are able to refer to those ones we made earlier, and we can recycle the menu items. Okay, so blog is already in there, and now I will do like so. Okay, so we toggle the grow, and then it's predicting we want the state here, correct. Boom, And we just vibe coded the drop down. Let's go. Let's go. Let's grow. So account about perks, and let's make sure it works. So that brings up the blog, cool. And this brings up the Copilot, cool. Maybe I should round these corners, eh? What do you think? Nah, it's fine. I kind of want to. I kind of want to round those corners a little bit. So here's the Copilot page, here's the iframe. Let's do an 8 pix rounding. Yeah, that looks cool, right? Come on, you love to see it. Okay. So the feature is level community dropdown. Boom, boom, boom. Now I can add my new page. So my new page is going to be job search. And I'd like these things to be rounded as well. I'll not get carried away. So grow menu items, the new one is, boom, the new one is job search. So now we have job search, blog Copilot job search. How do we look on mobile? Looks good, looks good. We could do like an off-white, kind of like a background there, but this is fine for now. That is the similar state to prod. Okay, so now let's go make our page. So we're in the app router, so we'll make a directory. This is going to be job search. Here's page.tsx. Okay. And let's copy the community page as a starting point. Okay, we don't want any of this stuff. We will want some sort of use router thing going on, or some sort of API thing going on. So we're going to want a what's going on with my What's going on with my cursor and cursor, dude? Do you see the blip there? I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, I guess it doesn't bother me too much, but I don't know where it's coming from. Get rid of all that stuff. We don't need to use the route parameters. I guess we'll just do a hello world kind of thing here. So here, we're going to want the ability to get job searches, create job search, delete job search, not update. We'll do update somewhere else. So this will be get job, oh, I have insert going on. That's what it was. Get job searches. Get job, not get job search results. Get job searches. Okay, I'll comment that for now. So this is the basic page. Yeah, we can comment the is loading too. We're going to need that, but we'll just comment it for now. This is just an IDE needs to be like refreshed kind of thing. Get job search page, because it's right here. Get job search page. That didn't refresh it. That's okay. We'll refresh it whenever we introduce the new types because of the Prisma schema. So let's look at the page. So we go job search. Hello job search. Community member profiles. That should not be there. So I think we can have the create new job search button up here. Kind of big and ugly. Let's get rid of that P4 so they line up. We'll just do an MT4. MB6. We can take the class name off the div here and handle it consistently as an MB6 on this bad boy. I think it's fine. It's a little bit ugly. Make it work, then make it work better, right? Make it work, then make it work better. Okay, so here's the job search archive. Create a new job search. And then it says hello job search. Where do I have another button? Is it too much padding? It feels like a lot of padding. So I got no padding on these other buttons. This one, it has ML. What is ML? Margin left. Margin left. Why do I have margin left? I think that's unnecessary here. Okay, so let's try it without the padding. Whoa, it needs some kind of padding. Where's a button? I know I got some buttons on this website somewhere. Let's go to settings. No, I just got, oh, here's a button. Hell yeah, found a button. PX4 PY2, that's what I got. PX4 PY2. I don't know that much of anything is different here. Yeah, it's the same. The disabled opacity, the disabled thing is weird. So that bit is different. When would it ever be disabled? Is there a condition where you can't create a new job search? Not to my knowledge. So that's our button style then. Okay, it's fine. Don't overthink it. Looks good to me. So this is hello job search. Cool, so we got this page going. We need to set up the router. We need to alter the database. I would really like to be confident before I push any actual schema changes. So maybe I can hold it in memory on the server at first. No, I think we just push the schema changes, and it's a new table, and if we need to operate on it, that's fine. Okay, so for now, I just want to create a list of job searches, and then we can add the data elements later. No, let's go ahead and do all of it, because if I'm going to test creating, deleting, why is this a client component, by the way? What here should be, I think this should be a server component. Job search page. Job search page. Oh, because it's, why is it saying it can't find it? Client job search page. And now it found it? What is wrong with you, dude? Maybe it's me. One of us is messed up. Let me grab another Zen. What's going on? Losing my mind. So I don't know that it needs to be a client component, right? There's the job search page. And I would like server functions to handle everything. What is the interactive client side bit? What do I need to use state or use context for? That should be the bright line, shouldn't it? At the moment, I see no need. So really it's just a matter of like separating out the boilerplate and keeping the component small. It's really just a developer experience benefit at this point. So instead of client job search page, this should be called like job searches list. Job searches list. Let's call it job search list. Maybe, should we call it job search collection? I'm not going to waste time on stuff like this. It's technically not a list. It will be a list. Yeah. And so this says use client, but I don't know that we need to use client. So let me comment that. All right, well, we'll try to make it a server component, and if and when we run into a need to make it a client component, we'll invoke use client at that time. For now, I think we can get away with server component job search list. So we'll try it as a server component. All right, let me bring over the CSV now. And where is it? This is where I kind of wish I was on a Mac. So let me go to my downloads, drag and drop. Oh, we want to do we'll do a whole new composer. Let me get the Copilot instructions. First of all, let me make new instructions before we bug cursor. Okay, so we update the instructions. Why did we do that? So that it's aware of the new file locations. Okay, so this is chore instructions. This is going to provide the context to cursor, so we're dragging over this is the laterally Python instructions. Yeah, boom. Okay. And now I want to drag over the CSV file. Is that not going to fly? Let me go off of auto and pin to Claude. Do I want to do Gemini Pro or do I want Claude Sonnet? I'm going to stick with Claude Sonnet for now. We'll do Gemini Pro if we run into an issue. So what do I want to do with this? I'll just put it right here for now. I'll call this temp job search sample data. Temp job search sample data. Okay, so now I can drag it into the Copilot instructions. All right. Let me go to the routes user. Let me go to the schema first of all. So here's the Prisma schema. We're gonna have to one-shot it, man. It needs awareness of all these different components at once. No, we can do the schema first. Okay. Consider the job search sample data attached. Let's update the Prisma schema to support creating 3 new entities. Job search 2. What do we call these things? I'll reduce the size of this, by the way. Make it a little easier on the context window. A candidate should be able to create, read, update, and delete a job search, which is the parent of a collection of job posts, for candidate. Let's just say which has. A user should have job search. I'm going to write this technically. A user should have job search, and each job search has. Good, that's a nice technically concise way of saying it. A user should have a list of job searches, and each job search has a list of job posts for candidate. Okay, I hit the enter button by accident. I meant to hit shift enter. Hopefully it understands that each job post for candidate has a list of interview stuff. So I read the CSV data. Now I'll create the schema additions for the job search entities. So while this is going through, I want to think about what I expect it to do. Some of the gaps that it may have, the interview step is not well defined within the sample data, right? So it needs to be able to have tags on the interview step and notes on the interview step, tags and notes. Applied, rejected, pre-interview, phone screen. We can actually view outreach as a job search step. I think that's okay. And then I'm going to want to have notes on the interview step. So interview step, does this have tag? Oh, it has notes string already. That's great. It already has the type here. Do we want to create an enumeration for the kinds? I guess we can leave it as a string for now. Let's see. No, we'll enumerate the kinds and we'll just add an other. What is duration meant to be? I don't have duration on this spreadsheet. Interview step duration. I don't need the duration actually. Interviewer names. We don't need that. Notes, feedback. Is passed as a nullable Boolean. I like that because if you don't know, you can just leave it null. Next steps, let's get rid of that. So type. Let's call this a job search step. Let's rename from interview step to job search step. Let's enumerate. Let's rename job search step.type to job search step.kind and enumerate them. Okay. So I'm staging my schema here. Now that we staged it, let's look at the diff. So we have kind is applied. I guess it's fine to have background check, reference check, offer negotiation. This is all fine. So a job search step kind can be outreach. We can say outbound message is a kind. Element O, P, Q, R, S, T. Let's alphabetize these. Sort lines ascending, okay? So we have a job search step kind. And let me think through some kinds that I expect. A recruiter screening. Okay, so it's called a phone screen. A coding round or a technical take-home assignment, cool. Technical interview. Let's distinguish between a technical conversation and a technical or like a code screen. So we have, let's do recruiter screen. Yeah, phone screen, recruiter screen, that's fine. Hiring manager call, behavioral. We have a technical conversation, behavioral interview. System design, yeah, system design is here. Those are the main ones, right? Take home assignment. Take home assignment, yep. Offer negotiation. I think this is fine. And then we have other, so on-site interview, I don't like this. But we can add is in person. We can add whether it's in person. Okay, so I had a Do we want to distinguish between an automated assessment and a we can do technical code screen, automated. We can distinguish between it. Let's see. We'll go technical, code screen, automated. Technical code screen, manual, and then we'll say technical code. Why this code? Do I want to distinguish between practical and like leet code style? I'll just say technical other. Technical conversation. Okay, so we have technical code screen automated, technical code screen manual, technical conversation, technical other. All right, so I think that does a good job. So we have these different kinds, and then we know the date. Good, so this is a job search step. This is the date that the job search step occurred. You might want that to be a date range. That's splitting hairs, we'll ignore that. Because sometimes you split your loop over a couple days, right? But we'll ignore that. So I have these job search steps in my job post. I have these job search steps in my job post. And I have notes for the job search step, and then I have notes for the overall job post for candidate. I think I would like the notes to be at the job post level. So the problem is if I apply a language model to actually analyze this stuff, I guess it's good to have it at all levels. I just worry that users might put information in different levels. That's okay. We'll allow notes to exist on all of them. And then you have notes about the whole job search. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine. Everything is fine. Okay, so then we might get a base salary, total compensation, has email reply. Has email outreach attempted. We can calculate that now by the outbound message. Is inbound opportunity is still a useful Boolean, so we don't need these. If I have a referral, that's good for the job post, good. The contact name, contact URL, gotta have it. Status, job application status, rejected. So we can calculate these now, right? So withdrawn, timed out, declined, accepted, offered, Those are all good for the job search. Final round can be calculated, on-site can be calculated, technical, these can all be calculated. Applied, rejected. Yeah, applied, rejected, offered, accepted, declined. I don't know that we need accepted or declined. Well, I guess it's useful. I don't know that we need that. Accepted or declined. Offer received. What do you think, chat? Is it worth mentioning offer accepted or declined, or is just offer received just a good enough marker? I think received is the good enough marker. Okay, so job application. Before applied, I want to say in outreach. So we're initially in outreach because I might try to seek a referral before I apply. Then I'll apply. Do I care about an in progress indicator? Yeah, I can see it being relevant to sort by those that are in interview versus those that are not in interview. So outreach, applied, in interview, rejected, offer received, timed out, or withdrawn. I think that takes care of the job application statuses. So the job search step, we also want a multiple. LMHIJKL. So we can have a multi-round, multi-kind job search step. That'd be like a final loop. I don't think it's worth tracking the background and reference check. Let's see. I guess it's possible to fail a background and reference check. We just group them together. It is possible to fail out due to that, I guess. So am I going to log an offer negotiation? No. I think if we have offer received, we're effectively in negotiation at that point. Okay, this looks good to me. So I have these different rounds and they roll up to my job post. I have a company, job title. Let me look back at my my data just to make sure we're capturing these effects. So if it's low effort, means that I applied but I don't have a contact. So it's possible to not have a contact. Yeah, these are optional, so it's possible to not have a contact. And then referral has referral. Let's not default those. Default is applied. The job application status should be in outreach by default. I guess I don't want to have a default. Yeah, I don't want to have a default. I want to force the user to tell me, are they in outreach or did they apply? We can make the job title optional. Let's not. I'd like to have that. I'd like to have that. So I guess it's possible you're like, I'm applying to this company, but I don't know the job title or the job post. That doesn't really make sense. Like, I guess it's fine. It doesn't make sense to me, but there's edge cases. The job post. Yeah, this is fine. Good, I think we captured all this stuff. We could say job board name is optional also. Let's say job board or channel name. Job board or channel name. I like that more. So you know, if you're like using a tool and you're applying this way, that could be a distinct channel, and maybe there's an interesting channel effect. Actually, there definitely are interesting channel effects, so that's why I want to have that one. Okay, and so then you have this job search. Start date, end date, whether it's active, yep. Target role, I don't care. Target salary, I don't care. I don't care about a target company. The job search name. Yeah, we can have a job search name. And we can have business logic that provides a default just based on... Yeah, we can like suggest to the user a name like, you know, Q1 2025 or whatever would be a common one that I would use. Good, I think we have all the bits here. Okay, so here's the feature. Schema. We'll push that. So here's the user router. So I'll say consider the, and then we'll also want to make a job search.ts. I'm just copying this over to Discord. I have a person that I want to share this schema with. Oh no, couldn't be delivered, it's too big. All right, we'll go bit by bit. Whoa, what did I just do? I get into this state and I don't know how to exit it without just like closing the file. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm telling Cursor, consider the updated Prisma schema and the user router, which can be used for TRPC reference code, implement a job search router, which gives us the ability to create, read, update, and delete job search entities. Add another route which gets the collection of job search entities by user. This router should be authenticated and use the user ID from the session. Vibe it up, bro. Now let me look at this job search list, and I'm noticing that I have the laterally page wrapper here, but I'm not authenticating it. And this wants to require premium, yes. So authenticate and require premium. Other places where I do this, I provide a fallback component. Okay, I guess the fallback component is boilerplated in the file, right? A premium subscription, yeah, it's internal. Okay. So that will, the feature here is require premium. Slacker DE, what up? Late night vibe coding, I love it. We'd love to see it, man. I hope this helps people. I hope this helps people. So many optional properties. Yes, sir. It's because job searches can be so weird that it's hard to have a consistent schema. And also, I don't want to force users to enter all the data because they just won't use the tool, right? So there's a user experience play or justification. Oh man, it's gonna try to run PowerShell. Stop it, cursor. Windows pane. Here I'll npx Prisma generate. Operation not permitted. Why? Because the server is running. So I'll kill that server. Welcome in on YouTube, by the way. I hope you're enjoying the video. If you are enjoying the video on any channel, YouTube or otherwise, I hope you'll tap the like button, follow the page, and consider sharing it with a friend who may be interested. Okay, so I updated Prisma out of process. Great, since you've already updated Prisma auto process, the TypeScript errors should be resolved. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for here's the job search router. This looks good. That's just connective tissue. Now this is the Mamma Jamma. Okay, so let's see what we got. We create the router. Then we have get user job searches. That's a fine name. Then we have get job search, a particular one. Create, update, and delete. Perfect. Very good instruction following. Okay, now we'll go over here to this job search list. And I'll also go up to the page. I'll say connect the router to the page, to the job search page, and get the list of job searches for render on load. Enable the user to create a job search by clicking Create New Job Search. Render a list of job searches with minimal data and a delete icon. When the user clicks on a job search, we will take them to a job search details page to be created. Boost flow. Hey, valued streamer, I verify that you have few followers. Yo, turn the knife, buddy. You already stabbed me, just turn it. You ever been attacked by a robot? I have. They don't need guns. They can just roast you on kick. Adam says, don't forget to commit locally before you give Claude whatever a chance to mess things up. Amen, brother. And we've been committing a lot. Let's go take a look at this pull request. We'll go ahead and kick off the pull request so we can get a staging environment going. So this is feat job search entity closes 462. Okay, we'll create the pull request. I'm going to create it in draft mode. But you can see I have a bunch of little small commits. That way, if it messes up, you can just drop the changes and try again. Right on, my friend. Very good vibe code guardrail technique. I love it. And for the audience, Latterly.io blog article number 24, debugging tips, has vibe coding tips, and this will be one of them. Leverage version control with lots of small commits. We love to see it. We love to see it. Okay. Cursor is still iterating to resolve linter errors. I appreciate that, Cursor. At this point, I'm going to drop my sample data. Okay, and let's step through the changes that it made. So create job search modal. I don't really want a modal, dude. We'll let that hang for now, but I'm not crazy about a modal. Could be acceptable in this case. The typical reason that I don't like modals is that they create rendering lag and they impact SEO negatively. But this is a premium gated page, so it won't be SEO material anyway, right? So we could accept a modal. We'll demo it, and if it's pretty, I'll just vibe with it. We'll go off the beauty vibes. What do you think, chat? I think beauty is relevant to vibes. No one on LinkedIn today. At least I hope no one on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn and trying to send a message, I'm not seeing it. Let me open up a tab real quick just to confirm. Okay, yeah, it looks like no one is commenting there. But if you're watching, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Lurkers are welcome. We love our lurkers. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss a question or a comment. Okay, this is a little bit hard to read. Let me close other pages so I can focus on this. So it's telling us that we want to use a client component, and now I know the reason in this case is because it wants to use a modal, which could be okay. And we're going to have this router push. That's another reason that it wants to use the client component, which is understandable. This looks fair. I'll be honest with you. I can't complain about this component here. Okay, so here's the job search list component. I'm not going to stage it just yet. Let me keep looking here. Instead of a create new job search button, it's a create job search modal. Let's just see how it looks. Whoa. Hit some kind of button there. Adam says, I saw a comments section on LinkedIn. Is that the same as live chat on YouTube? More or less. LinkedIn is kind of weird with the live streams, but yeah, cross our fingers. And I have seen LinkedIn comments come through before as if they were a chat. But I've also seen issues with LinkedIn as well. Not that anyone else can relate to issues on LinkedIn, right? Adam says, is all router stuff in React relative or absolute? It is relative. It is relative. You see we have these tilde symbols. which are symbolically interpreted. There's like a configuration that sets that up so that the system can calculate the absolute path, whether it's running on localhost or in a remote environment. So basically, at compile time, Next.js will swap out that tilde for some other path that's variable by platform. So within the context of the code base, we're going to be using the relative from tilde. And the cool thing is that the developer tooling is pretty mature. So I can like control click on it and I can get the code navigation over to wherever it is. So pretty nifty stuff. So this tilde here, you can see it maps to the source folder on my local host. Great question. Great question. Okay, so localhost is running. Let's see how it looks. Wow, not gonna lie, I totally expected a ginormous error. No job search is found, create one to get started. Love that. I don't like the center style of the text. It's also a bit slow, eh? Oh, because it's erroring in the back end because I didn't update the database. Yeah, so the reason it's so slow is because it's waiting on database connection and the database is like, bro, I don't even have that table. Which is okay. Create one to get started. Here we have text center. I'm just going to drop the text center. So I want to see it left aligned. I think that's a little more readable. Yeah, that looks fine. I think I want to drop the padding. I don't know that I like the gray either. Yeah, the gray is okay. The gray is okay. But let's get rid of the padding. And this should be a paragraph. Semantic HTML for the win, right? Job search ID. Yeah, it went ahead and made the whole details page. That's an unnecessary comment. Prevent navigation when clicking delete. That comment's fine. That's an informative one. I'm not a comment hater. If the comment's informative, I like it. And I even empathize with the language model a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and stage this file. This file looks good. I even empathize with the language model a bit. If there's a code comment that is informative to a language model, even if I don't think it's useful as a human, my bias is to let it remain because it contextualizes the language model. Does that make sense? So here's create job search modal, create job search modal. Here we go. Export constant. It's using the fat arrow function. I love this syntax. This is some clean code actually. As far as React goes, this component right here, like I said, I didn't really want to modal, but it's well written. At least up to line 40 where I've reviewed. Create job search, great function name, really intuitive. We got types in there. And so here's the button. So we're encapsulating the button, okay? I think this is a clean component. E.g. summer 20, and it even gives a good default text. I love it, dude. Not gonna lie. So I'm gonna go ahead and stage this. What about this page? So the page is barely doing anything. It's just hooking up the modal. So we'll stage that. What else we got? Job search details page. So this, I'm gonna let this hang. We can do this as a separate commit. I can't verify it as a user right now because I don't have my database updated. Okay, so the feature here is integrate TRPC for job search. That's a big milestone, not gonna lie. That's awesome. It's 2025, LOL. Yeah, that's fine. It's just It's just an example, you know. Okay, so now is the part where I terrify myself because I'm gonna push the prod DB on live stream. All right, chat, pray for me. So here we're gonna npx prisma db push. Database is in sync allegedly. We will get dev server running. On my other screen, I'm gonna look up the database just to make sure that Supabase isn't screaming at me. We still have users. Yes, I didn't lose all you beautiful users. And here's the job search table, empty, job search step, job post for candidate. The tables appear well formed. Let's see if they work. Slacker says, are you on Claude 3.5 or 3.7? Yes, I'm using 3.7 Sonnet. It's probably hard to see. Probably hard to see on the stream there because it's this small text in the lower right, but we're using Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Now all the components should work together. What is it complaining about? Sorry. Oh, it's mad about the router bit. I guess it was giving a lint error. No search is found. Create when you get. So the loading is actually. Whoa, there's asymmetric margin. Yeah, it reverted my style changes. Good thing we committed. Okay, so here's the page. Oh, that's the details page. Here's the list. So it just removed the router. I want to keep the comment here actually. I thought this was a good comment. Prevent default looks fine to me. So we dropped the router. I'm happy with that. I want this to be a paragraph. You can just say if not job searches dot length. That's a little more concise. That's going to prevent a build error that I will face later. Okay, we'll revert the style back. And now we want more consistent style, so center. So where's the loading? Loading. Where's that bit of text? Somewhere it's going to tell me that it's loading. Loading job, that was really fast now, you see, because it's not hanging on Prisma anymore. Loading job searches. It's this P4. Okay. Nuke the P4. Boom, look how fast that is. We love Supabase. Okay. I want it to use the Next.js link. So here I'm going to use the link from next link. And then at the tail of the anchor, we'll swap it for a link. I'll just sort my imports real quick. Okay, I didn't change anything. That's fine. This is the job search list. Let's make sure that this link works. Oh, we have no idea if this link works because we need to actually create one. Adam says, doesn't that feel a little too implicit? Explicit is better than implicit. I agree, explicit is better than implicit. Which item? Sorry, I missed what you were referring to. But I agree, explicit is better. So if I did something without thinking, let me know. Some of this is just going to be React conventions. So in general, React allows for a high level of explicit code, but there's always the asterisk, right? Like sometimes the framework just does the framework things. But I'm not sure which bit is implicit here. Maybe you could make that clearer for me. Okay, so let's try to create one. This will be summer 2024. Sweet. Oh, the check link thing. It's actually really explicit. So there's nothing implicit here. This is actually really explicit. This is called optional chaining. Yeah, this is not duck typing like Ruby, so this is not an implicit check. This is, if it's undefined, it will not, it's a safe navigation. If it's undefined, it will not attempt to interrogate the length property, which is guaranteed to have a null error, right? So this will evaluate, this is explicit code. It will either evaluate to undefined or 0 or some other number. And we want it to pass only in the truthy case when it's non-zero. Sorry. We want it to skip this block only in the truthy case when it's non-zero. So I consider this to be really explicit code, actually. All right, this is what it looks like. It looks a little goofy if you ask me. Let's click it. Hell yeah, dude. Now I want to make sure that the deletion cascades. Let's add an application. Oh, add an application doesn't do anything right now. The green is a little bit aggressive here. It's not a big deal, but it's a little bit aggressive. This active thing, the having it on this row, I don't like. I want it to be upper row. So that's going to be an H3. So let me go get this semi-bold H3 and wrap that in a div. Okay, so we get the semi-bold H3 up here, and then I'll drag up the active span. Okay, so we'll move that. That puts it here. Now I'd like it to, I don't mind this, I'm okay with this, but I don't know, should it go in upper left or upper right? I actually, now that I'm looking at it, I kind of like it over there. I kind of like, yeah, active in the top left, eh? But that green is a little aggressive for me. Now, yeah, now it's lower key, right? Here I will template this, and I want it to have font bold. So I want it to be bold. I think that looks better. Does it look better? Maybe it looks a little bit too much like a turtle green. I think that looks good. I'm happy with the 600 level. Okay, let's make sure deletion works. Are you sure you want to delete this job search? Okay. Deletion succeeds. Yo, dog. You want a job? For real, for real? Enter button worked. I love that. Can I tab around? Look at this. We got accessibility. Cursor has the vibes, dog. Cursor has the vibes. So the job search list is looking good. And what did I do here? So this is feet, link, and style. Okay, now we're looking at this details page. So when I go into this details page, I'll go ahead, I want to replicate the style So we'll pull out a little component, which is the active span. Job search active span.tsx. And that will just be this thing right here. Okay, so there's the job search active span. And the reason that I'm doing that is so that I can recycle it into the details page. Does that make sense? Might want to add overflow hidden text overflow ellipsis. Where's the overflow? So if I keep typing here, for instance, is that the idea? Yeah. Good. So should we do a character constraint or should we do wrapping? What do you think, Adam? I mean, so thanks for the call out. It's a good point. My intuition is though I don't want a 200 char title here. Okay, text overflow ellipsis will automate the text ellipsis instead of trying to do a logical ellipsis. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Text overflow ellipsis. So what element am I applying it on? Why did that not work? Why did that not work? Do I need to give it a max width? Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. I don't want to do an arbitrary pixel cutoff. I'd like it to reflect the parent. So now it's reflecting to the div parent, and now, yeah, now that works. And now it's reflected to the parent. Can I say auto? No. Okay, so what's the width up here? WebKit fill available, that's interesting. Okay, so I have to go up to the flex level. Ooh, and that's going to push out my delete icon. So what if I say max width 80%? I would expect it to flex already, huh? This looks pretty good though, and then it looks fine on mobile. So if we give it a max width 80 on the flex 1, look at that. So I said max width 80% and cursor knew how to tailwind it. Yeah, okay, and then it wraps. Hey Adam, what do you think about the natural wrapping on the flex? I think that's acceptable. think that's acceptable. So the feat here is active span. Good call out. That was really helpful. You got to get your a pull request into Laterally so you can get credit for contributing. He says, looks fine to him, thanks. Job search details. Okay, so what's up with this guy? Oh, this page is good. This page is good. No, this page is the one that's active. So now we can reuse the job search active span and get the coloring that we like. Boom, status active. I like it. I like it. Here I do want a little bit of margin top. I think that looks pretty good. Back button works. Accessibility is good to go. Love it. Okay. So now what I want to do is go to sleep. Sheesh. Now what I want to do is add an application chain and then verify that deletion of the job search entity cascades to the post. And that, at that point, I'll be happy to merge and deploy. Okay. Implement this next step. While it's doing that, I'm going to go look at the job search router and try to manually determine if delete cascades or orphans. So if we delete a job search, check if it exists and belongs to the user. Good. Okay. So we do an authentication check, and now we're going to do a CTX transaction delete many, delete all related job posts and their steps. Man, crushing it, cursor. Soft delete instead. It's an interesting thing to think about. I don't want to do it though. I don't want to do it. And the reason is because I'm cheap and I'm still operating this as like a really small business, and I don't want to hold the extraneous data. Like, what if users just pile up soft deletions? For me, it's wasted database space. I totally get, like, in an enterprise setting, you might want to do that. In an enterprise setting, you might want to do that. Yeah. In an enterprise setting, that would be a really good idea because you want to handle the case of accidental deletion. I don't care about that. Sorry, I don't. If people want to pay me a bunch of money, I'll do it, but I'm not making enough money right now. If you set up foreign keys, doesn't that automatically delete all related entities? Let's see. No, it doesn't. You could set up automated cascade handling on the database side as a database configuration. I don't have that though, so I need to handle it. I need to handle it in my logical layer. And with Prisma, if you don't ask for it, you won't get it. Adam says, also in industry, there's the concept of data retention and regulated. Yes, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Man, I would love to be regulated, and here's why. By the time an auditor cares to regulate me, it's like the thing has mass adoption already, right? That would be great. At the moment, it's like no one cares about laterally. We're coming up on 1,000 users though. That would be a great landmark in my opinion. Okay, so I want to manually refer to, I want to like look through it and then I want to use it as a user. Okay, so job search details page. We're going to show add application modal. So we're taking a modal approach once again. So we're showing the modal and it's its own component. That's pretty clean. Okay, so the modal integration looks good to me. So I'll stage this. So the modal integration looks good, but what about the modal content? So I got this modal popping up. And no, this is not what I want. Because cursor doesn't know that I should be using Zod. Cursor doesn't know that I should be using Zod. So let me give from Z is the import from Zod. Okay. So I think the settings page is a good reference. So I'm going to stop cursor. I'm going to interrupt cursor. And I'm going to say we should be using Zod. Our existing form utilities that build on top of final form. Okay? And I give it the reference of the settings form. Already at scale, yeah, 1,000 user scale, and they are 99.9% free tier. I hope this adds value to people, and then I hope I can charge for it. Cool. Yeah, that's a really nice Zod. Now we're actually using Zod properly. Based on the settings form example, I'll update the form to use Zod. This will make our code more consistent with the rest of the application. You're getting it, Claude. Claude for the win. I don't know why we needed to import React like that, but whatever. I don't think we need that. Do we need to import React from React? You don't actually need to. That's correct. Correct answer. Little prompt technique there, I like to use questions. I think I've talked about this on a previous stream, but just like when you're talking to a human, so when you're talking to a language model, by prompting with a question, they intrinsically derive the right answer, which is a stronger reinforcer. Like it pre-builds buy-in. It pre-builds buy-in. So I like to use questions, and it also goes with a TDD mindset where I treat the language model, and even when I'm working with a coworker who I'm working with as a tech lead, like I'm reviewing their code. So I want them to go execute and then I want to review when I'm in that sort of position. I like the question approach because, first of all, it's not bossy, but second of all, it maps onto a testing paradigm where you have an expectation and then an assertion, right? So by asking the question, I already have in mind the answer that I expect, and then if the labor provider gives me the answer that I expect, I'm really, really confident that my expectation was correct, as opposed to the case where if I just say do this, there's a chance that I'm saying to do the wrong thing. And you would get the equivalent of a false pass in a unit test, where it's like, okay, I did the thing that you said, but there might have been other possibilities that I didn't consider. So I like to use that question, which kind of welcomes pushback in the case where I'm wrong. And in the case where I'm not wrong, and then the labor provider agrees, it's like a two-way double reinforcement. They're more reinforced to have pre-buy into the answer that they give, and then I'm more confident in the answer that I wanted to hear when I get a semi-independent derivation. Did that make sense? Hopefully that made sense. Okay, now we have the schema here looks good. The Prisma client looks good. Create job post for candidate. At a glance, it looks, oh, what's this? Job URL does not exist on the type because it's called job post URL. It's called job post URL. Not a big deal. Minor little issue there. Okay, so there's job post URL. I'll stage this. Let's go to the client side. It will be in the modal, and then this will have job URL, and I actually want job post URL. Okay? Minor issue, not a big deal at all. Okay, so the code looks good to me. Let's give it a test. Yo dog, I heard you want a job for real, for real. Let's check out this thing with the overflow test. Okay, it wraps. Gotta love Flex. Add application, company, yo mama, job title, janitor. Oh no, so this all looked good. I'm gonna go ahead and commit it. So this is feet. This is the modal. So we'll commit that, but there is an error. So hopefully this triggers cursor to re-review the Prisma schema. Well, it says there's a mismatch in field names. Okay, that's fine too. So company name is required, job title. What did it change? It looks like it just changed single quote to double quote. We need to update the form to use job post URL instead of job URL. Oh, okay, I must have missed a field somewhere. It had to change all of that stuff? What? Okay. It seems unnecessary. I guess it's more concise though, so maybe it's a good idea anyway. That was the real one. That was the actual root cause, is that the name was malformed. Okay, company, Walmart, job title, milk dude. Okay, I have a referral in this case. They know I got the milk. I should have said bacon dude. Nice. Here's the milk dude. And then I need to be able to delete and update. Okay, so this is or this is a fix, really. Fix job post URL. Now let's enable deletion of a job post record. The danger of backend and JavaScript, absolutely. So we'll do delete, and then we'll want the details page, and then I think we'll be at a pausing point. This looks good to me. Go ahead and stage that. Loading is a problem. Okay, cursor's already on the case. So now I'll say create the necessary components and the logic to enable a user to update job application status and CRUD job, let me get the right Prisma name here. Job search step entities from a job application details page. So I'm going to just kind of like eagerly assume that this works, and I'm going to have Prisma work on the next thing while I verify. Okay, so we got the delete here. Let's also do this test. Boom. All right, we need to make sure that we flex this. Let's see. Deleting works. This was back to center again, which I didn't want. Walmart, Bacon Dude. A recruiter reached out to me in this case. This is another issue. After the ad application succeeds, the issue. After ad application succeeds from the modal, the UI is not refreshed to show the new application on the job search details page. Okay, let's assume that we get that fixed. And so now I want to focus on Bacon Dude. Yeah, I think I can just give it a max width. Okay, but not at this level. Also not at this level. So we go up to the grandparent. It's not wrapping, it's not wrapping. Why is that not wrapping? So we could handle the overflow, but I'd rather it wrap. Do I need to create a paragraph inside of the div? I don't know. That's interesting. Okay. We will ask Cursor to take a look at it. So let's say here I delete this, add application, Bacon Dude. okay, and it automatically refreshed. Okay, that's good. So this is fix. Really, this is feature delete and refresh UI on mutation success. Similarly, it should refresh now. Yep, okay. You're staying remarkably calm when trying to figure out the CSS. I'd be a bit tilted right now. Why? No, it's just a robot. No reason to get upset. Just guess and check. Laterally search techniques, when you get into an issue, there's a process to handle that. Okay, so you just time box it. So here's the steps. Just take up to 5 minutes for each one. Oh, no, these are the core techniques. The reference code thing, I thought we were doing that, but maybe I should go back and check, because on the other page, there was a similar issue, right? So let's do that. So here, I'm going to open another, grow job search. And here, we handled it. And how did we handle it? Div, and then the upper parent had a max width, flex 1. So here, this is flex 1, 110. I think that's the difference. Here, it's flex justify between. Flex wrap. It's because the delete icon is structured differently. That's the reason. So here, the delete icon is its own column, and here, the delete icon is nested inside of this item's start block. That's causing the issue. Okay, so this is the job search details page. This is the job search archive. Align the flex structure of the list items between the job search details page and the job search archive or directory page. Or here I'll say in the job search list. I'll say the job search list does implements the flex properly, so that the long what's the thing that's long here? So that long job search.name does not wraps. Notably, the delete icon is structured differently. And then let me specify what's not wrapping in the other case. does not wrap properly in job search details component. And I had a typo on component, but language models get it. Whoa, is it almost 1 a.m.? We'll get there, chat. We got 5 minutes to go until 1 a.m. We'll get there. It's still not wrapping properly. "1 a.m. means coffee time. Love it. We could just directly apply text wrapping now. Okay, so that's what it's going to say. It's going to say break words. Oh, I didn't add spaces. Yeah, no, I didn't even think about that. Cool, so even if I don't add spaces, it'll still wrap now. That's great. It is pushing out that application though. Oh no, it's because the Tailwind compiler. It's specifically loading MaxW80. It's not loading any dynamic variation. So I have to actually reload the page to get that visual effect. And now we can see it looks better. Okay. Job search details, and this is fix title wrapping. So what do we got? So now I can click on it. But how do I, oh, job search. So it updated the router. Create the job, what do I call this thing? It's a job post, right? Are we going to see rebase? No, sir. No need to rebase. It wants to make the directory. No, I'll go ahead and make it. I'll go ahead and make it. Think Claude handle rebasing? No, not on Windows. So if it tries to run terminal commands on Windows, it messes up in PowerShell. So on a Mac, you might be able to let it do that, but I just don't have a need to rebase. It's not that like I don't want to, I just don't have a need to. So here is the job search details page, and we want to make job search, job post, job search, new folder. Do I want to do that? Do we want job search, job post ID, or job search, job post ID? Job post ID. Okay, it convinced me. That's fine. So we'll make job post, job search, job post, page.tsx. Is this file in the right location? Job search, job post, job search, job post, ID. Oh, sorry. Here you go. Bam, that was so fast, man. Oi. Sure is struggling over here. I guess I just had to think for a while. Ah, yeah, that's the reason. It is a big one. Why did it change my 60 to an 80? I was happy with 60. Okay, so here we are, and boom, now I can click on Bacon Dude. Bacon Dude. Add application step. Step type. Let's go! Let's grow. This is my initial application. Through Jimmy some cash for that referral. Yes, sir. So we did that initial application, and now we got a technical code screen automated. I failed it. 5 sum no sort killed me. 5 sum no sort killed me. Boom. So when I fail, we want to update the do we want to do that when I fail? We want to update the that 60 could be even a 50 now, I guess. Yeah, so that the delete icon doesn't shift too much. So this looks pretty good. Let me commit where I'm at. Okay, so feat is job search. Like, this is like the job post details page, yeah. Is applied being pulled from the latest application step? It's not. That's the that's a wrinkle. That's a wrinkle that I want to deal with. Let's delete this. Make sure the cascade delete worked. I'm going to actually check the database really quick. No, I have a dangling job search over here. I have a dangling job search. Job post for candidate is empty. User ID is me. Oh no, the job search should exist. My bad. I just deleted the application. Yeah. Okay, so when I add an application, when I mark an application or like a job search step, as failed, or if I mark an offer accepted, we should be able to update the application status. Should we derive this, or should we let the user update the application status from the job search details page? You can take a hybrid approach. Yeah. When the user marks the final interview as failed, automatically update the application to rejected. When a user adds a step of offer received, automatically update to offer received. Would you like to implement this hybrid approach? Yes. Burger, hey man, how you doing? What's up? When did you join? So Burger's over there on Twitch. Burger, thank you for the follow. Burger followed 13 minutes ago. I've been watching the YouTube chat, so apologies for not attending to you sooner, my friend, but thank you for being here. Hope you're enjoying it. You got any questions? We're 2 hours, 15 minutes deep on the stream, thereabout. Vibe coding up a job tool. This is laterally.io. So laterally.io, currently we have this blog item which gives you a bunch of information, helps you learn. And there's also a Copilot tool, but it's harder to get to. You got to click this button. And it's kind of weird because if I click this button, I don't know what it does, right? If I go to the blog and I read about AI tools, then I can read about what the Copilot does. But it's kind of a weird user experience because, like, from here, how do I, like, well, I guess read the announcement, yeah. I guess I just shouldn't expect, yeah, so really I should delete this or chat now so that people click read the announcement and then they get the education and they can pick the tool they want from here. Anyway, in the new experience, there's a grow dropdown. While I'm at it though, let me go ahead and update that. Okay, so on localhost, it's just going to say new AI tools, read the announcement. Boom. Okay, and this is feet, less confusing call to action. So here's the job post details. Let's close others. Okay, so I'll go to my job search. Here's my active job search. I am the bacon dude at Walmart. Okay, and status applied. So I'm going to ask it to improve the spacing around the status and applied elements. Let me stage this. So it's going to work on the spacing, but let's go ahead and try the process here. Oh, okay, so I can just update the status as I go. That's convenient. So applied step type. Let's say that I did an outbound message, texted Billy. It's pending. Boom, and it automatically goes to in outreach. Automatically goes to in outreach. Cool. Okay, and now I say, got our phone screen, and let's say that that's pending now. So now we're in interview. And now I go to a technical conversation, and then I failed that. Or let's say that I passed that. And I'm still in interview. And now that I say I got offer. Yeah, there's not like a received offer step, is there? Can I just say, and now I got a offer received? Cool, that works. But now they did a background check on me and they found the sauce. Boop. We found the sauce. Any step failed. So what did it do to the UI here? I'm not quite happy with that. I want the status badge to be in its own div. Oh, I did it again. Oh, yeah, I think that looks better. How does it look on a phone? Yeah, we're overflowing on a phone. It wants to use grid up there. Cool. All right, that marked it as rejected. Okay, so feature, hybrid, application status, updates. I want to be able to add notes here. That's okay, we can leave it out for now. Improve the mobile friendliness of the this should be a unique identifier, I think. So we're going to fix this overflow issue. I told it I can send a picture if it helps. It did not ask for a picture. Yeah, this looks much better, doesn't it? And it looks good on desktop as well. This bit also looks bad on mobile. So the input overhangs its container on mobile. Otherwise, we should be good. Now let's start getting ahead of the build issues. Bunch of promises must be awaited issues. Okay, that fixed it. I think that looks good. Man, I did it again. Let me just move that over. So now if I bump something, I'll bump Discord. Not a big deal. Okay, so this is style, mobile friendly. Now, we'll go file by file to remediate these issues. Let me fix all the linting errors in the file. That's what I love to hear, man. I'm also going to update the AI instructions. Now that we have some new files, we'll update those instructions. It's working on the job post details page. Let's see if I can take care of the job search list on my own. So we'll stage that. And let's get some iterations over here. All imports only use types. Okay? So I can import type. Line 20. This one. So here we can just await refetch. Here, prefer the nullish coalescing operator on 125. Is passed, yeah, so I can do like that. It's a little more concise. 327. We can await refetch. do this over here as well. Oh, I could say void refetch. Yeah, that's a cool trick. Do I want to await it or void it? Do I want to await it? I think I should void it, but I want to get Cursor's opinion on this. It's better to use await. Okay. All right. Well, shows what I know. I'm seeing one error. Yeah, it looks like we only got one error left. Nice. Let's go. Build fix. All right, so we will want to check this in the staging environment. And then we should be ready to merge. I'll go ahead and mark this as ready for review. Well, it took us 2.5 hours. Not a bad return on investment, if you ask me. We vibe coded a whole new. Okay, if this actually catches on and people pay money for this thing, it's going to be an insanely high return on investment. I'm suspicious we're going to have to do a few iterations. But let's say you multiply it by 4. So it took us about 2.5 hours. Let's say we multiply it by 4. And so that would be 10 hours. Or even just like round it up to 3 hours times 4. So 10 to 12 hours to get a feature. Well, if people use it, it'll be a great investment. If people don't use it, it wasn't a great investment. I guess that's how things go in product development, eh? Adam says, it's a bit unexpected, but you aren't allowed to type errors in the catch in TypeScript. Yeah, okay. Okay. What would you do with it? So you can create a custom object. So in other languages, you can throw an informative exception. It's actually a different object, right? It's not just type. It's not just type information. It's actually a different object. You can do that in TypeScript as well, but you do that by creating a different object. You don't do that purely through the type layer because the type layers are not sent into the runtime, right? You can throw a custom exception, but it's not a type, it's an object. That one took me a minute to think about. I'm getting tired, y'all. Now we got the Grow tab, all right, we're logged out. We go to the Copilot, please log in, okay. We go to the blog, it looks good. Please log in, okay, let's log in. Can't. Whatever, merge it. Just merge it. We'll do a prod validation here. The reason I can't log in, oh, actually, in hindsight, there is a way that I could log in, is if I don't use the SSO. If I use user pass, I could have logged in. Too little, too late. Adam, I don't know why they decided not to allow you to type errors in the catch block of a try catch, but they didn't. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, my guess would be that it's just like a lot of work. For whatever reason, the TypeScript compiler, it's a lot of work for them to do that. Maybe they can add it in the Go refactor. They're going to refactor TypeScript to use Go under the hood, right? Maybe that will enable that. You can file an issue. TypeScript has a repository. You can file the issue, file the request. Okay, so we got this new build in progress. We're 1 minute in. Probably take another nothing. So here's the Grow tab. Blog, cool. Y'all can be able to check this out now. It's deployed now. So let me log in. This time SSO works because prod is validated for Google SSO. Okay. Now, go to Copilot, it works. And I got those beautiful rounded corners. Look at that, you love to see it. Yo dog, you want a job for real, for real? I do, how'd you know? How did you know that I was rejected from Walmart? Sometimes it be like that, dude. Chat, thank you so much for being here. I hope this helps you. See you next time. Next vibe coding session, vibe coding a test suite for the job app feature. Maybe, yeah, we should do that at some point. Do you want to pull request that? At some point we'll get the, yeah, actually it's not a bad idea. It's just like, there's other features.